Yeah, definitely believe so. Not just for the phone and talk, text, but more consumption of the richer data so that you can truly hear and feel the original intent of the artist envisioned, for example. But also through the 5G network and the more enhanced connectivity or the multi-connection, we can talk about some of the connections to mobile phone, like car industry, more securities, and more safety. So anything we in the world we live in will be even more connected.
It has changed dramatically if we look at the past decade. I mean, we had companies such as Nokia 10 years ago, which still made a difference and were providing the future there. Now we see that consumers are basically thinking of smartphone as a platform for their applications, for the ecosystem that they use. Of course, there are some slight preferences. It's always the question, iOS versus Android. But at the end of the day, it's really about those applications that make our life easier.
Yes, it's actually changing every day. Initially, mobile phones were invented as a mechanism for replacing fixed line telephony. I think today folks are using it more for collaboration and sharing of context, and I think that will continue down that path as phones get smarter and smarter, or mobile technology gets more mature.
Yeah, I think we'll look at even more exciting use cases as to how our customers use their phones. What we're focused on at the moment is about our customers not having to learn their phone and their phone learns them. So that's where things like artificial intelligence really come in, and you'll be able to talk to your phone rather than having to interact with it through touch or through text.
I think we're just going to use our phones for more and more stuff as more and more technology gets built into them. In terms of the user interface, and obviously voice is becoming a thing now with the likes of Alexa and Google Home, and obviously the Apple tech. So we're all going to get used to controlling things more with our voice. That presents a challenge then for brands who have sorted their sort of text search out, so that they're being returned when people are doing a text search on their brand or something that they're targeting on. But they're going to need to segue quite quickly into voice search as more people are putting voice-controlled sort of smart assistants in their homes.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first iPhone wasn't 4G compatible, but you can argue that it's what drove the need for 4G, which then when the networks evolved, that drove the need for more smartphones. And I believe 5G will be just another step in that evolution.
Yes, certainly. I see the mobile becoming a less important product moving forward. So, for example, we have voice technology, which can connect usage for various other devices. So there's certainly, looking kind of on the 10-year roadmap at least, there will be less prominence of the mobile phone, maybe moving to wearables or voice speakers around the house, for example. So that's one of the biggest threats.
If you think of the car as the ultimate mobile phone, that you'll be sitting in that car and you'll be going, this is a really cool experience. You wanting to get in there and take care of it and enjoy it.
I live up in the hills in California, and sometimes my 3G cuts out or my LTE cuts out, and I have trouble with connectivity. I'm really looking forward to a more streamlined solution in terms of the connectivity.
Second screen is also interesting, right? So for example, quite recently we are in a project for the airlines you have this rear seat display on the rear seat. So this is interesting that if you could just easily plug with it and then display, for example, the content of your mobile, right? So the applications, and then you can operate on that. Having the network, of course, connectivity, and then you can just utilize it. That would be great.
I think there will be dedicated products, and there's a certain benefit to it. Although we have great technology in the camera, or many others are trying very best, but there is certain people who want the actual DSLR in their hand. They want their massive TVs in front of them. So I think no matter how we do, there is a certain benefit to having a dedicated product category, I suppose.
Not necessarily. It will just add another layer of interaction with those.
So I don't think they're going to replace the other devices like laptops and TVs. But I think what's going to happen is we're going to continue to see the difference between them blur, to the point that you don't care, and it's basically screen size.
For certain scenarios, people are always going to want a device where they can input data more easily.
Yeah, so we believe we spoke about entertainment in your hand when it comes to the Xperia. So we're putting a lot of technologies in the sense of hearing and the sense of seeing, and also we introduced the next technology called the dynamic vibration system that gives the sense of touch and feel. So with the 5G, even more data can be delivered to the hands of a consumer so that you can truly reproduce the original content's power, which really unlocks the potential of a lot of contents that creators are providing. So we're very thrilled about this technology.
One of the technologies that will change the way we live our lives is artificial intelligence, is giving machines the possibility to talk between them and to take decisions in our advantage. AI is something that works tremendously well, and we see an exponential development in that space. But it cannot function right now very well at the edge. It needs to be in the cloud. So 5G will be basically the tunnel that will keep all the mobility connected to this AI brain of machines. It needs to be there.
I think in the way 5G is being defined today in terms of access technology and taking advantage of various types of access technology and the speed associated with that and the response time associated with that, I think at the end of the day what we end up with is a situation where the phone or the mobile device in this case becomes more ubiquitous. It's always around, it's always there, and it has more consistent performance, response time, and that means the ability to entertain more new services and new applications that are of value to the consumer and the industries.
I think it will give you an even richer experience. So you'll be able to get much higher quality video content, for example, or if you look at virtual reality, you'll be able to get a much more detailed 360 screen within your life. So I think it's really exciting how 5G is going to make things so much faster and so much quicker to connect to the network, so you won't have to wait for anything anymore.
So I'm so excited for 5G. I think that 5G is really the game changer. Everyone talks about IoT now, the smart home, the smart hospital, everything's connected in the car, the home, the sensors. But all of that is going to be fully enabled by the advent of 5G.
I think that things like, again, artificial intelligence, streaming, video conferencing, will become faster, but LTE is really fast when it works how it's supposed to. So I think that what 5G is going to probably do is bring down costs because people will use more, which is what we've seen with LTE. The faster your connection, the more data you consume.
It's already somehow happening, but the phone numbers and direct communication to one person, chat, talk, that will probably stay. But I don't think it will be totally replaced. But more and more people in one communication at a time.
I don't think so. I think a one-to-one connection with people is always going to be really important. And at Samsung we're connecting everyone around the world through so many different touch points, whether it is instant messenger or through video calls or just voice calls. I never think that's going to go away. No.
Actually, no. Like eMarketer magazine just released a survey, they believe that next year Facebook usage by 18 to 24-year-olds will decrease by 5.8%. We believe that privacy is winning out, that people don't necessarily want their location broadcasts everywhere or their phone shared or their photos shared with everybody. So messaging will always be important.
More. We're just going to use these devices more and more and more.
Ubiquitous.
Augmented reality.
I would use the word aware.
Seamlessly.
Insatiable.
Diverse.
I don't have one word, but I'm going to give you a sentence anyway. I think they're going to be a much more prevalent part of our everyday lives for critical application.
The gateway, I guess.
I think we're going to become dependent. I think the word is dependent.
Ubiquitous.
Again, we position our products in the entertainment area. So I think the smartphone, not just as a communication device, but keep you up to date and entertained truly all the time.